Welcome to the Midnight Chart Room. Lock the door behind you. Pour something amber. What happens at this table stays in the sky. I'm Marco Vale, your host, and your skeptic in residence. Tonight, 3 chairs, 2 guests, and 1 question that refuses to die. Is astrology a museum piece, or an engine we haven't finished building? I'm joined by Dr. Isolde Crane, theoretical astrologer, former physicist, and the woman who once described a birth chart as a standing wave wearing a trench coat. And Professor Elias Stone, historian of the ancient craft, keeper of the Chaldean order, and the only man I know who can make a 2,400-year-old technique sound like gossip. Isolde, Elias, welcome to the table.
Thank you, Marco. And I should say, the trench coat is important. The standing wave underneath is what we're actually here to talk about.
And I should say, if astrology is gossip, it's the best gossip in the universe. It's been whispering about us for 4,000 years.
Then let's start whispering back. Tonight we're not here to defend the old tools. We're here to build new ones, original instruments for reading a chart that nobody has ever used before. 10 of them, to be exact. Isolde, you said the old tools are tired. What did you mean by that? A feel. That's the physicist talking.
The old tools aren't wrong, Marco, they're tired. Generations of astrologers have been rereading the same 12 signs, the same 10 planets, the same 12 houses, with the same basic grammar. It works. But it works the way a hammer works. Fine for a nail, hopeless for a symphony. The birth chart is a system of extraordinary density, planets, signs, houses, decans, degrees, aspects, nodes, and our standard methods read maybe 30% of that information. The rest is sitting in the chart like unplayed keys on a piano. My argument is simple. The chart is not a list of meanings. It's a field, and once you treat it as a field, as a structure of resonance, an entire set of new instruments becomes possible. Guilty, but hear me out, because the first new instrument I want to put on this table is the one I call the harmonic resonance field. Every planet in your chart occupies a specific degree of the zodiac. Degrees are angles. Angles are frequencies. So the birth chart is literally a chord, a simultaneous sounding of 10 frequencies, each with its own sign-based timbre and house-based volume. The harmonic resonance field is the map of how those frequencies interfere with one another. You find the nodes where 2, 3, even 4 planets share harmonic relationships. Not just the classic aspects, but any division of the circle. The 5th harmonic, the 7th, the 9th. Where frequencies reinforce, you get standing waves. Those are the chart's power centers, the places a person can't help but be. Where frequencies cancel, you get quiet zones, the places a person can't hear themselves. And here's the beautiful part. The keynote of the whole chart, its single defining tone, is the greatest common divisor of all the planetary frequencies. I've tested it on hundreds of charts. The keynote always sounds like the person. Not what they do, what they hum.
What they hum. I'm going to steal that.
You should. It's a modern restatement of something Ptolemy suspected, that the aspects are audible. The Greeks called the zodiac a lyre with 12 strings. Dr. Crane has simply taught the lyre to play chords. My turn. The ancients divided each sign into 3 decans of 10 degrees, 36 faces of the zodiac, each with its own planetary sub-ruler. We've used decans as flavor text for centuries. I propose we use them as architecture. Decanic persona architecture treats the chart as a building, and every decan as a structural element. The decan of your ascendant is the facade, what the world sees first, the face you present before you speak. The decan of your sun is the load-bearing wall, the thing your whole life is built to support, whether you admit it or not. The decan of your moon is the plumbing, the emotional infrastructure, the hidden pipes that carry feeling through the house. The decan of your midheaven is the roofline, the ambition visible from the street. And the decan of your chart ruler is the foundation stone, laid first, felt always. Read those 5 decans together, and you stop describing a person. You start reading their blueprints.
So when someone says, I'm a Scorpio, you'd ask.
I'd ask, Scorpio is the building. Which floor do you live on? And then I'd hand them the architectural survey.
This one's mine, so forgive the ego. We all know the shadow side of the signs, the rejected material, the things a sign refuses to look at. My instrument treats the shadow as geography. I call it shadow transits. Every sign has certain degrees I call the shadow belt. The anaretic degree at the sign's end, the critical degrees of the fixed stars, and the degrees that fall in the gap between a planet's exaltation and its detriment. The places where the light bends. When a transiting planet crosses your chart's shadow belt, and specifically when it hits the same degree as a natal planet from the shadow side, from the outside in, it doesn't trigger an event. It triggers a confrontation. The thing you've been refusing to feel surfaces for review. Shadow transits aren't bad luck. They're the bill coming due, and the beauty is, they're always paid in the currency you can actually afford by then.
I'd add that the shadow belt is why the old astrologers called certain degrees dark. They weren't superstitious. They were mapping where the light of awareness doesn't reach. Marco has simply given the dark places a train schedule.
Secondary progressions move the chart forward one day for 1 year. Elegant. But I've always felt we stop too early. The progression cascade asks, what happens when you progress the progressed chart? Take your progressed sun, advance it 1 day per year of your life, note its new degree, and then progress that position forward, day by year, as if it were a chart of its own. The first level gives you your outer biography, the events. The second level gives you your inner biography, the private timeline of meaning. And the third level, the cascade within the cascade, gives you what I call the echo line. The repeating motifs that recur every handful of years, like verses in a song you can't stop writing. Most people never look past level 1. The cascade is the instrument for people who want to know not just what happened to them, but what they were becoming while it happened. Related instrument, the nodal gyroscope. The lunar nodes complete one full cycle every 18.6 years. Think of the nodal axis as a gyroscope spinning inside the chart, a stabilizing wheel that keeps the soul's orientation. Here's what nobody teaches. The nodes don't just sit there. They precess. They drift backward through the zodiac, and their relationship to your natal planets shifts over a lifetime. When a progressed planet crosses the precessing nodal axis, the gyroscope librates. It wobbles. Those wobble points are the moments when the soul reorients. Roughly every 9 years at the midpoints of the cycle, and decisively every 18.6 years at the full return. Plot the wobbles across a lifetime, and you get the spine of a biography, the dates when a person was secretly becoming someone else.
Now let me take you deeper into history than anyone likes to go. The Chaldean order, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, governed the planetary hours, a system older than the zodiac itself. Every hour of every day is ruled by one of the 7, cycling in that ancient order. My instrument, the Chaldean hour fingerprint, asks a question almost no modern astrologer has asked. What hour were you born in? Not the day, the hour, counted Chaldean style from sunrise. That hour's planetary lord is your hour lord, and together with your day lord, it forms a 2-note signature that colors everything else in the chart. The hour lord tells you how your sun's purpose gets executed. Born in the hour of Saturn, you build; of Jupiter, you expand; of Mars, you fight; of Venus, you attract; of Mercury, you translate; of the Moon, you feel your way; of the Sun, you shine. It's a fingerprint, no 2 charts share it. And it's been sitting in the source texts for 2,000 years, waiting for someone to dust it off.
And here I thought I was just born at a bad time.
You were born at your time, Marco. The fingerprint proves it.
From the same ancient toolbox, the dodecatomoria. Divide each sign into 12 parts of 2.5 degrees, and each part is ruled by the next sign in order. The first part of Aries is Aries, the second is Taurus, and so on. Every planet therefore carries a sub-signature, the sign of its dodecatomorion. This is not decoration, it's the fine print of the chart. Take a sun at 8 degrees of Scorpio, the 4th part of Scorpio, which falls in Aquarius by the Dodecatemoria. On the surface, an intense, guarded Scorpio sun. In the fine print, a sun that operates with Aquarian detachment. It needs distance, objectivity, a cause bigger than its own feelings. The surface drives the story, the sub-signature drives the method. Read both, and you've doubled the resolution of every planet in the chart, at no extra cost.
So the sub-signature is like the secret ingredient in the recipe.
Exactly. And it explains why two people with the same sun sign can be so different, they're cooking the same ingredient in different kitchens.
Let's talk about love, or rather, interference. In physics, when two waves meet, they either amplify or cancel, constructive or destructive interference. My synastry interference index applies that to two charts. Not just comparing planets, but comparing the two charts' harmonic fields. The full structure from Dr. Crane's instrument. Where both charts share harmonic nodes, the interference is constructive. The relationship amplifies both people. Where one chart's power center lands in the other's quiet zone, the interference is destructive. Each person is muted exactly where they're strongest. The index is a single number between 0 and 100. But the real gold is the map. The degrees where the two fields build, and the degrees where they erase. I've watched couples stare at their interference map and say, "That's the fight," pointing at a degree neither of them had ever noticed.
It's elegant because it's honest. Love isn't two whole people meeting. It's two fields learning to coexist without canceling each other.
And for my last trick, the oldest clock in the sky. Eclipses run in families called Saros series. Every 18 years and 11 days, the same eclipse recurs, shifted a little further west. My instrument, the Saros thread, treats eclipse families as karmic threads in a natal chart. Find the eclipse degrees in your chart, the spots where a solar or lunar eclipse has landed within a degree of a natal planet, and you've found your thread points. Every time the Saros family returns, at 18, at 36, at 54, the thread is pulled. Not as a vague something will happen, but as a specific re-encounter with the theme that degree carries. The same lesson, at a higher level, with better tools. Astrologers have watched eclipse families for millennia. What we've never done is map them onto a single life as a series of appointments. That's the thread. Your eclipses are your appointments with yourself.
18 years, 11 days. Roughly the time it takes to forget a lesson. And exactly the time it takes to need it again. We've put 10 instruments on the table. But an astrologer doesn't need 10 readings. They need one reading, done with 10 eyes. So here is how we synthesize, the 7-layer synthesis protocol. Layer 1. The signs, the vocabulary. Layer 2. The houses, the stages where the vocabulary speaks. Layer 3. The decans, the texture of each placement. Layer 4. The dodecatemoria, the sub-signatures, the fine print. Layer 5. The aspect web, the geometry that connects everything, including the harmonic nodes of Dr. Crane's field. Layer 6. The nodal axis and its gyroscopic wobbles, the soul's orientation in time. And Layer 7. The keynote, the single tone the whole chart hums, the answer to the question, what is this life for?
Let's test it. Mara Ellison. Sun at 4 degrees of Scorpio. Moon at 22 degrees of Aquarius. Ascendant at 17 degrees of Leo. Surface reading. A strategist with a cause. Now run the protocol. Her sun's decan is the 3rd of Scorpio, the Pisces face. So her power operates by intuition and the dissolution of boundaries. Her sun's dodecatemorion, 4 degrees of Scorpio, is the second part, Sagittarius. So her method is expansion, truth-seeking, the long journey. Her moon falls in the dodecatemoria of Libra. Her feeling life is a diplomat, always balancing. Her harmonic field. Sun, Mars, and Saturn form a standing wave at the 9th harmonic. A genius for seeing the pattern behind the pattern. Her nodal gyroscope wobbles at 27 and at 45, 2 quiet revolutions. And her keynote?
Her keynote. A life built for transformation that keeps arriving disguised as crisis, until the protocol reveals it was always the plan.
10 instruments, 1 voice. That, my friends, is the difference between reading a chart and hearing it.
And that's the table tonight. The harmonic resonance field, decanic persona architecture, shadow transits, the progression cascade, the nodal gyroscope, the Chaldean hour fingerprint, the dodecatomoria sub-signatures, the synastry interference index, the Saros thread, and the 7-layer synthesis protocol. 10 new instruments, and one reminder. The stars don't compel. They resonate. You are not the chart, you are the musician. Isolda, Elias, thank you. To the Midnight Chart Room. May your quiet zones stay few, and your standing waves stay strong. Lock the door on your way out. The stars will keep their counsel, but we'll keep talking. Until next time, this is Marco Vale, in the Midnight Chart Room. Good night.
To the keynote. May you always hear yours.
And may you always be on time for your appointments with yourself.